Terranigma is a kind of SNES subject that gets flattened into a quick label, hidden gem, import oddity, rare cartridge, or cult classic. That label is useful for a title, but it is not enough for a real OmegaVG video. The real hook is an action RPG about resurrecting the world, town evolution, fast combat, and a release history that left North America out. This breakdown is about the mechanics, the search gap, and the reason this game can still earn attention now instead of feeling like another recycled retro pick. The search gap. Terranigma is not a random obscurity pick for OmegaVG. The search hook is clear. The no US release question is searchable, but the best opportunity is connecting that history to the game's actual systems and pacing. That makes it useful for a long-form slot because the viewer can understand the promise quickly. This is not just a review of a SNES game. It is an explanation of the design problem people usually skip. The headline mechanic is an action RPG about resurrecting the world, town evolution, fast combat, and a release history that left North America out. That is visual enough for footage, specific enough for chapters, and strange enough to avoid sounding like another generic retro list entry. The goal is to make the footage prove the argument, why Terranigma works, where it fights back, and why the topic still has room on YouTube. The core system. The first thing to understand is that the game mixes action RPG combat with a world restoration structure where towns, continents, and culture become visible progress markers. That gives the video a mechanical center instead of a nostalgia center. Every clip should answer one question: what does the player know here that a first-time viewer would miss? In practice, that means slowing down the moments where the game looks obvious. A jump, swing, part choice, route bridge, or attack can carry more information than the screen initially admits. Once that layer is visible, Terranigma stops being a trivia subject and becomes a design case study. What players misread? The common misread is simple. It is often treated as a release history trivia question, but the stronger story is why the game itself feels like a late-era SNES culmination. That is where the narration needs to be sharper than a normal retrospective. The video should separate the meme, reputation, or collector story from the system actually running underneath. This is also where the stingers help. The movie clips work best after a clean sentence, when the commentary lands a point and the cutaway acts like a reaction instead of interrupting the explanation. The joke should never replace the explanation. It should give the viewer a breath before the next mechanic arrives. Routing logic. Routing matters because the pacing moves from underworld combat to overworld restoration, making the route feel like uncovering civilization instead of only chasing dungeons. That lets the edit move beyond "here is gameplay" and into "here is why this decision matters." A good source clip is not just clean footage, it is evidence for the sentence. The best rhythm is to show the problem, name the rule, then show the consequence. That keeps the video explanatory even when the game itself is visually chaotic. By the midpoint, viewers should understand the game's internal logic well enough to predict the next mistake before it happens. Why it fits OmegaVG. Terranigma fits the channel because it has a visible hook, a niche search lane, and enough mechanical texture to reward close watching. The channel should not chase broad retro nostalgia when a narrower mechanical angle can be owned more convincingly. This topic gives the title and the explanation the same job. The graphics package should reinforce that. Title card, safe lower thirds, source labels, subtitles, and a clean HUD that frames the footage without pretending to be the point. When the edit is working, the viewer should feel like they are being taught how to see the game, not simply being told that it is underrated. The history hook. The history angle matters too. Its absence from North America turned a strong RPG into a legend, because many players only learned about it through imports, emulation, and forum mythology. History is strongest here when it explains the design rather than replacing it. Release timing, platform context, developer identity, or import status should all point back to what is happening on screen. That is especially useful for search visibility because viewers often arrive through the big historical question and stay for the mechanical answer. The script should treat context as a bridge into analysis, not a detour away from it. where Ike fights back. The honest caveat is that the combat has quirks. The localization history is messy, and the game's reputation can become so large that players expect a flawless object. Naming that friction makes the video stronger. A polished OmegaVG explainer does not need to pretend every cult game is secretly perfect. The better argument is that the rough parts reveal the shape of the experiment. Sometimes the awkwardness is a flaw. Sometimes it is the cost of an idea the genre had not fully solved yet. That distinction is what separates a useful breakdown from a fan defense. Modern revisit. The modern reason to revisit it is that today it lands well because action RPGs, world-building sims, and restoration narratives are familiar languages that Terranigma blended early. That gives the ending more weight than a simple recommendation. The video can connect old mechanics to current viewer vocabulary without forcing a fake influence claim. Modern players do not need to love every second of the game to understand why it matters. They need the edit to make the old design legible. That is exactly the slot OmegaVG can fill: retro footage, current explanation, and a title focused tightly enough to compete. The takeaway. The strongest pitch is not that Terranigma is hidden, rare, or weird. The strongest pitch is that it gives us a specific design language to explain. If the viewer leaves knowing how to read one mechanic better than before, the video has done more than summarize a game. That is why this belongs in the second slate. It is a fresh subject with a focused niche, a clickable title, and enough visual evidence to carry a long-form edit. For OmegaVG, the move is simple: own the under-explained mechanic, keep the pacing clean, and let the footage make the case. So the final pitch is this: Terranigma is worth covering because the design can be explained clearly, the footage has something to teach, and the niche is still open enough for OmegaVG to own.